Yes! In this video, we will be going over the top 10 purple units that are currently having the strongest impact in the metagame. For this list, Legends Limited characters will be considered at 3 stars and all other units will be considered at 7 stars. As always, non-Zenkai units will also be considered at 3 and 6 stars to weigh in on how useful they are. And at number 10, we have Boujack. He can draw a Strike Arts card and increase his strike damage for 40 timer counts. He restores ki by 30, increases his overall damage, buffs his team each time he switches to standby, can restore his own health, can continue combos, and increases his draw speed by 1 level. He also has his own mini crisis kit, and he has the best cover change ability in the game to this day that he can chain with a blue card. However, this unit suffers from having low stats even at higher stars, to the point where he dies in a single combo. This is unfortunate because he needs time to build up his damage and start up his combos. Furthermore, despite having blast armor, his green card is unreliable. Overall, Boujack has been power crept and is not worth running since Purple Vegeta Goku Assist exists. The only team you will see Boujack on is sagas from the movies, but since he does get picked to be on the team, at least for his double buffs, he earns the number 10 spot on this list. And at number 9, we have EX Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Yeah, you heard me right. This unit belongs on one of the most heavily played tags in the game. He buffs the Saiyan tag, and, by proxy, most of the Sun family tag. What makes this unit good is that he increases his overall damage much more effectively than a lot of sparkings in his tags. He can cancel attribute downgrades, reduce the damage he receives, restore his ki efficiently, and he doesn't take long to get going with damage. Furthermore, he buffs his allies' damage and his stats are more impressive than a lot of sparking units. However, he is still somewhat fragile, which is an issue since he has to get hit to reach his full potential, and he only reduces damage effectively against Vegeta units. He is in a tag that has a lot of units that are better than him, and he is required to be at 3 stars minimum to be efficient. You can mainly find him on Saiyan and blue color counter teams. He is decently represented within the top 100 players of this and last season for his buffs and usability, earning him the number 9 spot on this list. And at number 8, we have LF First Form Frieza. This unit restores ki, has a destructive ultimate card with blast armor, and has an immobilizing green card that shortens his team's substitution count by 3 and debuffs the opponent's unit. He also holds a blue arts card, which is very useful for Lineage of Evil teams. When he activates a blue card, he draws a new card immediately. He also buffs the damage for himself and the team, restores his own health, and reduces damage taken. Furthermore, he has a cover change skill that can be comboed with his green or blue card, allowing for an easy KO setup. However, his stats are on the lower side, meaning that he's not a very tanky unit and tends to die quickly, which is bad because the rest of his teams suffer from his death. He also needs to be at least 3 stars to double buff the team and requires 50 timer counts before his ultimate card reaches max potential. Unfortunately, the Lineage of Evil tag doesn't have enough units that stand out to carry the team, even with the existence of this unit. LF First Form Frieza will only really be found on Lineage of Evil or Frieza Force teams. However, the only relevant team you will find him on is Lineage of Evil. Although Lineage of Evil barely made it in the top 100 of last season, LF First Form Frieza is consistently in the team as their primary purple, thus deserving the number 8 spot on this list. And at number 7, we have Fusion Zamasu. What makes this unit good is that he restores a lot of ki. Over time, he increases his damage, increases his draw speed by 1 level, reduces the cost of his blast art cards, and restores his health. He also increases his blast damage against all characters except for Zamasu and Goku Black units. Furthermore, he can regain 20% of his health, reduce incoming damage when cover changing, and knock back opponents using his cover change if the opponent uses a Strike Arts card, allowing him to chain a blue card in response. Fusion Zamasu also ignores damage cut effects, rendering cover change reduction damage inconsequential. To top it off, His ultimate card increases the damage it deals when your opponent has fewer units. Unfortunately, Fusion Zamasu needs to be at least 6 stars to function decently in this meta, as his stats are on the low side even at 7 stars. Despite his kit, he is not as tanky as he appears to be. Furthermore, his ultimate card loses potency when you're in a losing position. His cover change can be nullified by a lot of units in the meta, and he needs time to reach his peak potential. Fusion Zamasu is part of Future, God Key, Fusion Warrior, Regeneration, and Powerful Opponent tags, but he is only ever played on Future teams as the secondary purple unit and buffer unit. Because he sees more representation in the meta than the previous 3 units, he earns the number 7 spot on this list. And at number 6, we have Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth. This unit is decently tanky and has good strike attack value for a Zenkai 7 unit. He is especially good against regeneration units, as he gains a permanent buff against them. What makes him good is that he increases his draw speed and damage for 45 timer counts at the beginning of the battle, thus starting the fight off with a bang. He also buffs his team as well as himself, increases his damage after being hit, and can greatly increase his damage even further if he is hit below 50% health. He has a good crisis kit and increases his ki recovery further for each enemy defeated when he's switched in. Furthermore, his main ability draws an ultimate card that nullifies health restoration upon being hit for 40 timer counts. To top it off, he has an impressive green card that makes him stronger while also giving back more ki than the cost of the card, and he restores his own health by 20%. However, his red Legends Limited counterpart makes him a little bit more obsolete, as it also gains damage buffs against regeneration. He needs to be 9 stars minimum for him to put in solid work, and he only provides a single buff to the team. Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth is part of Hybrid Saiyans and Sun family, but the only team that actively chooses him is Hybrid Saiyans. Nevertheless, he has seen solid representation in this and last season's top 100 players, and is the primary purple of choice for hybrids, thus deserving the number 6 spot on this list. And at number 5, we have Super Saiyan Vegeta Goku Assist. This unit is a Super Saiyan and a purple unit, allowing him to be on teams with Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan Bardock and blue color counter teams. He buffs Saiyans at 3 stars and higher, and can extend further if he is limit broken. Vegeta is a team player, increasing his damage along with his teammates. He also has a mini crisis kit and excellent ki recovery. When Vegeta cover changes, he reduces damage while also destroying 1 card in the opponent's hand. He can also heal himself consistently and nullify color disadvantage for 10 timer counts. His ult card can be buffed prior to its usage, and, when used, gives him blast armor, and if it hits, he gains access to a special arts card. However, despite his ability to heal and break combos, he isn't very tanky. He doesn't boast impressive stats and has to rely on Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan Bardock and his teammates to survive. Furthermore, he needs to be at least 6 stars to be good enough to be played on his relevant teams. Despite being usable in Super Saiyan and Saiyan teams, he really only sees play in Super Saiyan and blue color counter teams. However, the fact that he's a Super Saiyan unit that can break combos makes him more valuable than the earlier units on this list. His potential quad buff Z ability is nothing to scoff at, and was seen quite a bit in this and last season's top 100 players, thus earning him the number 5 spot on this list. And at number 4, we have Android 21 Evil. This unit belongs to 2 of the most powerful tags in the game, Androids and Regeneration. She is a decent unit even before her transformation, but once she transforms, her strike and blast attacks rival those of Zenkai units, and she can greatly increase their damage over time. When she's transformed, she gradually restores her health and shortens her substitution count by 5, for a total of 3 times when switched to standby, allowing for her team to be more aggressive than most in the meta. Android 21 is a combo extender, as she draws a strike arts card immediately when she's switched in, allowing her to extend or finish combos. She can also increase her arts card draw speed by 1 level for 30 timer counts and reduce her overall damage that she takes. Her green card allows her to disrupt her opponent, healing and buffing herself in the process while reducing the opponent's ki. To top it off, Android 21 buffs her team's health, making her a valuable member of her party. Unfortunately, she is an older unit now and thus is losing relevancy as time goes on. Her green card can clog up her hand and make it harder to continue combos, and her blue card doesn't synergize with her kit as it destroys all other cards in her hand to deal more damage, which can be an issue during a fight. She needs 15 seconds to pass for her to be able to activate her transformation, so she isn't full strength at the beginning of the game. Furthermore, to fully unleash her maximum potential, she needs to activate her second main ability, which slows down her team. Android 21 Evil works with androids, regeneration, and female warrior teams. She sees play on all three teams, but android and regeneration teams are slowly dropping her for more Zenkai units, even if that means not running a purple unit at all. Despite all this, her Z ability is extremely valuable, her kit is impressive, and she can keep up with the meta. The fact that she still sees tons of representation within the top 100 players is a testament to her strength despite her age, earning her the number 4 spot on this list. And at number 3, we have Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku. This newer unit has a relevant spot in most, if not all, of his teams. He has an extra vanish gauge that will realistically activate twice before he has to vanish regularly. His extra vanish gauge can be restored by switching to standby or by landing his blue card. The first 2 times he cover changes against a blast or strike arts card attack, he resets the battle completely to neutral. UI Goku tremendously increases his overall damage at the beginning of the battle, and later on, he reduces the overall damage he takes. He has a very good ki recovery and reduces the cost of his strike and blast arts costs by 5 permanently. He also increases his damage and ki the longer he is in battle. He has the ability to heal himself and cancel enemy buffs. His ultimate card has blast armor and nullifies cover cut damage and revive from death skills. To top it off, his green card allows him to increase his arts card draw speed by 1 level, allowing him to start a long string of combos as it heals him and increases his ki and damage. However, UI Goku's stats are very low, even at 7 stars, making him essentially a glass cannon unit. Though he can hit hard, he cannot survive a combo from any relevant unit in the meta, and he will get shut down by any decent yellow unit. Furthermore, his green card takes longer in frames to activate than any other similar green card. There are better purple units on both Saiyans and Sun family, thus reducing his relevancy on those teams. His cover change only activates twice, so he becomes dead weight in the late game. UI Goku is only really played in God Key teams, and he generally finds himself sitting on the bench. Regardless, he does see consistent play in the top 100 players of last season, mainly ranging from 3 to 9 stars, though commonly at 3 to 6 stars. He is also seen in blue color counter teams and is a very powerful unit in his own right, earning him the number 3 spot on this list. And at number 2, we have Super Saiyan Blue Future Vegeta. This unit is the starting unit on both Future and Vegeta family teams. He buffs himself and the team, adds cards to his team's hand when he switches to standby, and buffs his team each time he lands a strike or blast attack. Furthermore, when his blue card hits, it buffs himself and his team. His green card can disrupt the opponent's hand and increase his damage. He can also shorten his team's substitution count by 5, draw a blue card, and restore ki. If this unit dies, he buffs his teammates' damage, heals them for 20%, and reduces the opponent's Rising Rush meter by 3. At the start of the battle, he reduces his arts costs by 5 for 50 seconds, allowing for better quality card control in the early game. To top it off, his stats are decent, even at lower stars, and, ironically, he is also a great Rising Rush target. However, he doesn't buff the Future tag until he's at 3 stars, and he needs to be at 6 stars to double buff Vegeta family and Future. In some instances, his team can suffer if he is not the first one defeated. He also isn't a very tanky unit, and, as there are a lot of powerful green units in the game, purple units benefit from being tanky. Vegeta is the main purple unit on Vegeta family and Future teams, but he doesn't really see play anywhere else. Regardless, He is generally brought into a fight because of his invaluable support and sees more consistent play than any other previous unit on this list, especially within the top 100 players of this and last season, earning him the number 2 spot on this list. And before we reach our number 1 spot, we have to talk about our honorable mentions. Lavender is a decent unit, but is not seen once in the top 100 players of last season, unlike every other unit on this list. Legends Limited Super Vegeta is a unit that still sees competitive play despite his age, but is usually more of a detriment to his team than helpful, and is only really useful for his buffs. And finally, at number 1, we have Zenkai 7 Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I swear I'm not being biased just because he's one of my favorite units. Though, he is beautiful. Anyways, this unit deals tons of damage from the start of the battle, and never reduces the quality of his damage. He can further buff himself with green cards or with the help of his teammates. He can extend or finish combos. His ultimate card has a 25% chance to feint the opposing unit. He restores his own ki and gains greater ki recovery and damage buffs depending on how many timer counts have passed since the start of the battle, and these buffs cannot be cancelled. He permanently deals 40% extra damage against regeneration, which also cannot be cancelled, and he reduces the damage he receives from them. Basically, this monster of a unit does an insane amount of damage and can reduce the overall damage dealt to him. To top it off, his stats are very impressive, even at 7 stars, and he is also a decent tank, despite the number of powerful yellow Zenkai units in the meta. Okay, that's it. Wait, you wanted to hear about his drawbacks. Alright, fine. Some of the strongest units in the game currently are yellow units, which makes being a purple unit a disadvantage to Goku. He cannot gain the full benefits of his kit unless you have at least one Saiyan on your team when the battle starts, and he has no way to heal himself. Goku is commonly found in Sun family, Saiyans, and blue color counter teams. He is such a destructive force that he is a core member on all of his teams, especially within the top 100 players. Because he sees such consistent play and is a heavily favored unit in the meta, he earns the number 1 spot on this list. Also, he's cool. I'm just saying. Sorry, kids. So do you agree with this list? If you don't, comment down below and tell me what you think. Anyways, have yourselves a salty day. Don't forget to tickle the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell for more notifications so you never miss another video. And I will see you in the next video. Mana mana, bum dum bum, bum dum bum, blam blam, Saitama!